Glen Hansard, the acclaimed Irish singer, songwriter, actor, and Oscar-winning musician, has died at the age of 56 following a motorcycle crash in Dublin. The shocking news was announced Wednesday, July 29, 2026, leaving fans, fellow musicians, and the Irish music community mourning the loss of one of Ireland's most beloved performers. According to Irish police, a man in his 50s died following a single-vehicle motorcycle collision in West Dublin in the early hours of Wednesday morning. Emergency services were alerted shortly before 4:30 a.m. local time. The man was treated at the scene but was pronounced dead a short time later. Police are now appealing for witnesses who may have information about the crash. Hansard's management company, ATC, confirmed the devastating news in a statement, saying, "With broken hearts, we announce the passing of Glen Hansard in the early hours of this morning." The statement added that those close to Hansard were still dealing with the shock and asked that the privacy of his family, colleagues, and friends be respected during this incredibly difficult time. Glen Hansard was 56 years old. For many people around the world, Glen Hansard's name will forever be connected to one unforgettable song, Falling Slowly. But his story was much bigger than one Oscar-winning song. Born in Dublin in 1970, Hansard became a major figure in Irish music through his work as the lead singer and songwriter of the alternative rock band The Frames. His passion for music began incredibly early. Hansard left school at just 13 years old to pursue a career in music, eventually building a reputation for his powerful voice, emotional performances, and deeply personal songwriting. He also made his mark as an actor, appearing as Outspan Foster in the acclaimed 1991 film The Commitments. But everything changed when Hansard became involved in the 2007 independent film Once. The movie followed a struggling musician who encounters a young woman, and the two develop a powerful connection through music. Hansard starred alongside Marketa Irglova, and together they performed and co-wrote the film's unforgettable song, Falling Slowly. The song became a worldwide sensation, and in 2008, Hansard and Irglova walked onto the Academy Awards stage and won the Oscar for Best Original Song. Hansard was famously overwhelmed by the moment. Instead of simply celebrating the success, he later spoke openly about the complicated emotions that followed. He admitted that after winning the Oscar, he struggled emotionally and drank too much. But his friend and fellow rock legend Bruce Springsteen helped him understand what had happened. Springsteen reportedly told Hansard that the struggling version of himself he had known before the Oscar had, in a sense, died that night, and that he needed to embrace the new chapter of his life. That friendship between the two musicians became an important part of Hansard's journey. Springsteen later became an occasional collaborator and continued to speak warmly about him. And following Hansard's death, Springsteen paid tribute to his longtime friend. He described Hansard as a great musician, a good friend, and a generous and gracious man, someone who was always positive, smiling, and ready to sing. Bruce Springsteen ended his tribute with a simple but heartbreaking message: God bless him and his loved ones. But Springsteen was not the only major musician to remember Hansard. U2 frontman Bono also shared a deeply personal tribute. Bono remembered Hansard as an angelic presence and described him as a smiling, mischievous, and deeply musical person. But perhaps most importantly, Bono highlighted Hansard's compassion. He remembered how Hansard could never simply walk past someone living on the streets without checking whether they were okay. And Hansard didn't just talk about helping people. He worked to make a difference. That compassion became particularly visible through the annual Christmas Eve busking tradition in Dublin, where musicians gathered to raise money and awareness for people experiencing homelessness. Hansard was one of the most recognizable faces of that tradition. His music was not only about entertainment. For him, music was also about community, humanity, and bringing people together. His journey with Falling Slowly was also far from over. After the overwhelming success of Once, Hansard eventually stopped performing the song during his concerts. The song had become so closely associated with the movie and the Oscar that it had, in some ways, overshadowed the rest of his musical identity. But that changed when Pearl Jam frontman Eddie Vedder invited Hansard to join him on tour and encouraged him to perform the song again. The two musicians had developed a friendship after a tragic incident in 2010 involving a fan who died after falling from a building near the lighting rig while Hansard was performing. The incident deeply affected Hansard. Vedder reached out to him simply to make sure he was okay. Hansard later described Vedder as a beautiful and deeply caring person who helped him through that difficult period. Hansard's musical career continued to grow far beyond once. He toured with Bob Dylan, worked with Eddie Vedder, and continued performing as a solo artist. In 2016, he received a Grammy nomination for Best Folk Album for his solo record, Didn't He Ramble? He also reunited musically with Marketa Irglova as part of the Swell season. The duo released their latest album, Forward, in July 2025. Hansard's latest solo album, All That Was East Is West of Me Now, was released in 2023. And his commitment to humanitarian causes continued throughout his life. In 2022, he participated in a Christmas Eve charity busking session with two Ukrainian singers and dedicated Falling Slowly to the people of Ukraine. He also performed at the funeral of the Pogues frontman Shane MacGowan, singing Fairy Tale of New York alongside Lisa O'Neill and members of the Pogues. Meanwhile, the success of Once continued to grow. The movie was eventually adapted into a stage musical that became a major international success. In 2012, the Broadway production won 8 Tony Awards. But despite all those achievements, people who knew Hansard often spoke about something beyond his awards and musical accomplishments. They remembered his humanity. Ireland's President, Catherine Connolly, described Hansard as one of the country's great singer-songwriters. She said the Frames had been a source of inspiration to an entire generation of young people and musicians. She also praised Hansard's extraordinary live performances, where he combined music with stories and memories of the people who had influenced his life. And she emphasized his generosity and his work helping people experiencing homelessness. Hansard, she said, was one of the vital driving influences of the Irish music world, someone who brought people together through live music. Now, the Irish music community is facing the painful reality of his absence. Glen Hansard leaves behind his wife, Finnish poet Merceritza, and their 3-year-old son, Christy. At just 56 years old, his life has ended far too soon, but his music will remain. Our deepest condolences go out to Glen Hansard's wife, his son, his family, friends, bandmates, colleagues, and everyone who loved his music. May Glen Hansard rest in peace. If his music touched your life, tell us your favorite Glen Hansard song or memory in the comments below. And if you want more celebrity death announcements, tributes, and breaking entertainment news updates, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Rest in peace, Glen Hansard. Your music will live on.